Good morning, everybody. It is 6:30 a.m. Tuesday morning on the 8th of February 22, and I've just had a wonderful shower in this toilet block here, which was recommended to me by a young man by the name of Dave yesterday up at another section of Paynesville where I was doing some editing and the latest upload. Came over and had a chat, and he said, "Oh, if you want a shower, there are showers down here." And he said, "Yeah, they're hot. They last for about 2 minutes, which I think's more like about 3 or 4, using my own historical rushing shower type technique." I was able to have a complete shower, albeit very quickly, and even a shave in the shower with hot water. Now, please take in mind that my showers are like the Terminator. Very, very efficient, very thorough. There's no relaxation. That comes later. This tingling of the skin and everything comes later. Anyway, just so to put it into perspective for you guys, if ever you should make your way down here and you're after a hot shower, it's across the road from the Paynesville bakery. That dark, I don't know, dark pink or whatever colour that is, and the Paynesville news agency's next to that, and this toilet block's directly across the road. And look at that, my goodness, is that not one of the best views for a toilet you've ever seen in your life? Now, if they were a little bit creative, right, they could have put tinted windows all along there, one-way viewing, and they could have faced the throne looking out there. Now there you go, Shire people, council Shire people. Let's get a bit imaginative here, folks, and really make use and put this place on the map, make it a bit more bespoke, a little bit more hippie-ish, maybe, if I dare use the word, a bit more arty. You know, that's the greatest view of any toilet I've ever come across. And it doesn't have any windows. Oh dear. Anyway, that's okay. I'm very grateful for the showers. Lovely. Thank you, Paynesville people. So, I don't know what I'm going to do today. I have to wait around because I've ordered the vape stuff to a parcel locker in Bairnsdale. Now, that could take anywhere from 2 days to 5 to 7 or whatever. But I'm definitely staying here one more night, maybe 2, and then if I still haven't heard from the post office people, or you know how you get the notification to say your parcel's ready, I will go to Meetung for a couple of days, and then hopefully somewhere around that time the vape stuff will come. I have also ordered 2 new tyres from Trisled, and they're going to be coming at some stage as well. The 2 back wheels on the prime mover, they're still okay, but there's a few chunks taken out of them here and there, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace both of those with the brand new ones, and I'm going to keep these as spares. Where I put them yet, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'll figure it out. Alright guys, I'll catch you soon. Is this not a beautiful day or what? Oh my goodness, the water in this section here is like glass. Alright. Okay, here I am back down at that same spot I was at yesterday where I did the service of the rig over there. And I forgot to take a thumbnail shot yesterday. I was meant to park it up here and take a shot, and I never did it. So I'm going to do it, take a frame shot later when I edit whatever I do today out of all this kind of deal. Bang, there's that view, and then there's this one as well. Go around the other side like that, one there, front to back, boom, boom, and then another one right from down there, like so. Okay, I'll take you down and show you this playground down here. The rig will be alright over there. Very early in the morning, hardly anyone's around. I haven't locked it. I'm just over here. It's not very far. Does that cause me anxiety at times? Yeah, it does. If you're busting to go to the toilet and time is critical, and the 2 minutes it takes to lock everything up, go to the toilet is just too long, and you've got to leave it unlocked and run into the toilet. Is it an anxious poo? Yes, it is. You try and ram that thing out as quickly as possible so you can get back. I mean, that's mainly in built-up areas. That kind of thing, that kind of anxiety happens. Not so much in rural areas, because in rural areas the sound travels mighty far and you can hear anyone coming up. Car, walk, whatever. This is a nice little spot. So see how clean this barbecue is. Okay, I've seen a lot worse. I'm taking it's sort of pretty well used, but the cleaning department here is not that flash. Because just looking around at a few of the facilities around here, the barbecues where I was up at yesterday, kind of a bit like that, a bit of scuff on them. And anyway, look, I'm so grateful to be here. I'm really not here to tear shreds over anything, just to give an honest account, really. So yeah, there's some beautiful boats here, guys, just beautiful. And I can see why they have races finish here, as my mum was telling me. And then I talked to a chap yesterday, Kevin, who came over to have a look at the rig and showed me a little 22.5 footer wooden boat that he'd made. And so I asked him, I said, can you get out to the ocean here? He said, not right at this spot, but further down. I believe he said Lake's Entrance. That makes sense. The entrance to the lakes via the ocean. He said down there. And he did name the race. It starts at Sale, I think, goes to Marlow or something, and then finishes here. Can't quite remember the name of it, but there is a race here, Mum, as stated by you yesterday. Oh, look at these all little fishies jumping out of the water here. I don't know how well you see that, people, but they're only tiny. But it's very nice to see that. Healthy waterway is the message of the day. Even with all the boats here, there's still quite a bit of marine life, which is always good to see. Alright, good heavens. I guess if I had a lazy $5 million and I actually gave a shit about houses and land and the buying of them, this would be a pretty good place to come. Now, I'm just pulling a figure out of my arse there, folks. I have no idea what it's worth to buy a house here. Do not even care. And I'm not even going to look it up. I just pulled that figure out of the ether just because it felt like a nice number to say. And but yeah, very nice. I believe some of these mansions across the way have their own berth, their own little jetty there. And there's a couple of big yachts there. There's a couple of anchorages, a couple of they call them moorings. I forget the name of them, but they turn around with the tide, I believe. Something like that anyway. Could be wrong. Probably am wrong, because I don't really know a lot about boating. But I will. Alright. So I am meeting some really wonderful people doing this, guys. And Trev mentioned to me yesterday, because I was telling him that I've been meeting some awesome people, and this is not the first time I've heard this, nor is it the first time I've thought of it, is like vlogging some of these interesting characters that I meet, some of the conversations and stuff, and it makes sense, and I'm really missing out on showing you guys that on account of that. I do know for a fact I've got friends, yachties, sailing around the world now, and other vloggers that have had to delete videos down the track and then either re-edit them and cut these conversations out with people and then re-upload the video, which means it loses its ranking, etc., etc. Now, you are ethically and legally obligated to delete a video even if someone gives you their permission to do it, right? All they have to do is make a complaint to YouTube, and I think they've got the 3-strike rule. Once, twice, and then thrice, and then boom, your channel's gone. I have another friend over in America, my spiritual teacher over there. He was putting some lovely visuals and music to some of his uploads. And according to him, these people had never minded in the past, and he'd been doing it for years. And I think he'd gotten 3 strikes, and they took down his whole channel, and he had to change and start all over again. Now there were hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of very meaningful, profound, and powerful uploads from my friend in America, and it was heartbreaking, mate, and I'd hate to see that happen to this channel as well. So give me your thoughts, guys. How can we do this? How are we going to be able to vlog some of these interesting characters that I meet along the way hopefully without anyone down the track asking me to delete the footage? Because you're missing out. You really are. I met a lovely young guy yesterday by the name of Dave, and he was a fellow cyclist and tourer. He's been to, I believe he said, about 35 countries. And look, it was just such an interesting conversation, and I was right in the middle of editing, and I usually don't talk to anyone. Well, when I'm editing, I try and excuse myself and say, listen, if you're really that keen on knowing anything, you either come back in an hour's time or just look it up on YouTube on the Off-Grid Mojo channel. But young Dave I kind of saw him in the corner of my eye, and he had a bit of a limp. Anyway, in further conversation, because I was limping around the place for years as well, and my heart went out to him, and he was very interested in what I was doing in the rig. I could see it in his eyes. So it was no problem, right, to have a chat with Dave. I think it was maybe half an hour or 45 minutes, something like that. And it would have been wonderful to have videoed that. There's a couple of issues though with that, you see, because once you turn the video camera on, even myself, you start becoming a little bit self-conscious, and maybe you don't relax enough and really get into it or anything like that. And the other issue was I was halfway through an edit and I just wasn't prepared. The video camera was connected to the laptop, and it wasn't something easy to just take that out and start filming and ruining the moment, you see. So there's a bit of that, but I really feel I need to do this. And Trev yesterday mentioned it again, and he's somebody that when he says something like that, I listen. It's not that I don't listen to other people, it's just that I'm more emotionally invested with Trevor than I are with other people, and that's how it rolls for me. So we're going to do it, guys, but I'd love some of your input. If any of you have any experience with vlogging and videoing or interviewing people, I'm just sort of shooting from the hip here, guys. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Chime in, leave some comments, and let's do something. Maybe let's do something today. I've got to stay here for another 1 or 2 days until these parcels arrive. So why not go around and just meet some people and talk to some people? Perhaps that's what I can do. What we can do is just have some episodes solely on saying good day to people, right? Not so much the scenery, which is absolutely gobsmackingly beautiful, of course, but to also just maybe do an upload and give it a title, something Quadricycle, characters I meet along the way, or something like that. Chime in with that as well. What would be a great title for something like that? Alright, guys. Also, from time to time, guys, I'm going to give you some little gold nuggets about social media and how you can get better rankings on YouTube and Google. One of the ways to do that, I'll explain it very briefly, and if any of you ever do want to upload videos and get a good ranking that's cost you nothing, and you want to know a little bit more of the tech stuff, chime in and let me know, and I might do a more in-depth upload about that, or we can talk in private. So let's take YouTube as the first port of call. YouTube algorithm is very technical. It's one of the most technical algorithms out there. I don't care what other people say, I've been doing it for years, I know what I'm talking about. So let's say you want to get a good ranking on YouTube, right up the top. I can get you there with this technique, but whether you stay at number one is entirely up to you and the content. It's a combination of content, people liking, commenting, the hours watched of your content, how many watches, etc, etc. So here we go. So let's say you are a yachty, right? And you're traveling around the world and you've got an idea for a title. So before you cement that into your psyche, you want to make sure that your title has been searched. So you just get into YouTube, you put in whatever title it is you think you want to put in there, and then you see what the competition is. Anything over 1 million views, guys, you're not going to get page one. Anything under 600,000, 700,000 views for the competition that come up in your title that you're thinking of, you want to make sure that that is what it is. No more over 1 million, because you won't be getting on page one. So if you like the title, the competition's not too severe, you grab that title and you title your video, your upload, on your computer before you put it into YouTube. Alright? You got to make sure capital letters, punctuation matters, guys. So you do that, you name your video, you've edited your video, you've got your title, and then you title your video while it's on your computer. Then when you upload it into YouTube, you then go down where it says playlists. Do you want to make a playlist? You make a playlist with the exact same title as your upload. Actually, what I do there, I highlight the title that's at the top of the video in YouTube, copy and paste it down in the playlist area. It says create new playlist. You say click yes, and then you click on done, and then the playlist opens up in a drop down in the top left. You tick the box and then you go done again, and that's the magic there, guys. That alone will get you on the first page of YouTube, possibly even at the very top. Now, whether you stay there or not is the $69 million question. If your content is good and it's engaging and people are liking, commenting, etc., and then they're, commenting amongst one another, there's another very important tidbit for you guys. And if people share your video either on their page or on a website or something like that, all these little bells and whistles, they all end up connecting up to one another, and you will secure yourself for the future a very good ranking indeed. Alright guys, that's the trick. Try it. It's going to blow you away, mate, and it's freaking free. Doesn't cost a goddamn cent to do it. Alright guys, if you need to know any more, chime in, let me know, and I might do another upload about that down the track. Okay. I believe I've just seen the biggest bloody fly in my entire life. This thing is massive. I don't know if it's a march fly or a sand fly, but it looks hungry. Oh, crikey. Oi! Hey! Get out! Far out, man. That thing was huge. Alright. So I've moved from that spot down the end of this road. You go left and then you turn right. and it's called Sunset Cove. Now I spent a few hours down there just relaxing, having a coffee, chatting to some very interesting people. One of the guys I chatted to was travelling around Australia for a few years in a motorhome, and they did a lot of woof woofing, which, if you're unfamiliar with that terminology, guys, it's an abbreviation for willing workers on organic farms. I've talked about it previously. I leave a link for that book and that way of travel. Work and travel as you go. I think, it's anywhere from 3 to 6 hours a day. You work for someone on their farm, and they give you what's known as 3 hots and a cot kind of thing. You get a roof over your head and you get your meals, and you help somebody out, and they teach you a little bit about what they're doing on their particular farm. And there's a gazillion different people doing it that have farms, and you can basically travel around Australia for the rest of your life if you're in something like this rig, because it's human powered. You don't need gasoline, and you can just travel around from one organic farm to the other, and they will feed you for a few paltry hours of work a day. Now, that is a wonderful way to live, guys. If you don't have any overheads other than food or your phone and stuff like that, all of a sudden you are put in a very, very powerful position for living on your own terms. So anyway, that's just something for you to think about. Now, I found this spot up here because I needed to clean the rig, which I've done, cleaned it all inside. And I don't know if I told you guys, I did lose a vent here the other day because once again I use hot glue and it reactivated. So I need to, when I get back to Bairnsdale, get a new vent from Bunnings hopefully, and then use the good glue that I bought the other day. So this is a nice spot. So I'm setting up in here to edit some more footage that I've got. And the rig's in the sun. I think it's about at 94% fully charged already, and there's some shade right here if I should need it as well. But so far I'm quite happy sitting at the back there. What I wanted to talk to you about is I've got an idea. I want to build a yacht at the end of this, right? I'm going to do the lap, come back, sell the rig, and use the money that I get for that, or all of it, to purchase a yacht. Now the thing is, I'm not going to have enough money to do that in terms of a normal yacht. It would either have to be something so cheap that it needs so much work done on it that I just wouldn't have the money to fit it out. So in my searching on YouTube, I have found and come across a guy who sails, I believe it's called a tacking outrigger canoe, which is basically a catamaran. This man's name is Hans Klar. Now I'm going to leave you a few pictures of this guy's rig, this boat. And it's amazing, mate. It's very rustic, and he had it made, I believe. I hope I've done the research and it is correct. I've got it through other proxy sources, guys. In Guam, in Africa, at a boat building village there, and I believe they made it out of some particular kind of hardwood, which is very resilient to marine damage, saltwater marine damage, and things like that. So it's a massive boat, as you will see in just a minute. Now, I have no idea what he paid for this boat, but I believe it's, a pufteenth of what you would normally pay for a 70-foot catamaran with all the bells and whistles. He's got I believe the mast pole that he's using now is an old telephone pole from somewhere, and this guy stitches his own sails together out of old sails and other things like that. He's very resourceful. He's got a bit of a reputation as a scallywag, which I like. But the thing is, what's attracted me to his boat is the fact that he went to Guam, where the labour is $5 a day, and he, was basically able to build this massive boat on the cheap, and it's seaworthy. He's crossed the Atlantic back and forth 7 times in this thing, and because I realise I'm probably never going to be able to afford a nice Bruce Roberts pilot houseboat or a Spray or some other, blue water cruising yacht, I've got to, be realistic here and just, futurise what I can afford. So when I come back from Australia, in the meantime, I've got to do my research, right? I've got to hopefully get into contact with Hans, and at some stage I need to get on to become some crew. Right? I need to crew with him for a while and live on the boat with him for a while and see for myself just what boating life is, and I'll learn from him, and hopefully I can pick his brains without getting on his nerves too much, and he can give me some good info and stuff like that for me building my own. There's a couple of other places that you can have these kinds of boats built. I think in Papua New Guinea, in Port Moresby, there are some boat building yards there, traditional boat building yards. Mozambique, I believe, is another one, and Guam, where I am told Hans Klar had his outrigging canoe built called Yongtong Java. So it's Jontong, first word, second word, Java, Java, which is an atoll around Papua New Guinea somewhere. So it's basically a Polynesian type outrigging canoe, but it's it's massive. And I'll leave a link actually under this upload so you can have a look yourself. And that's my goal, guys. As much as I like the Bruce Roberts boats, and my dad was building one for years in our front yard, unfortunately it never got finished due to mitigating circumstances, if that's the right word to use, and it just never got finished. But like, the dream was there. I grew up fantasizing about this Robinson Crusoe lifestyle, about sailing around the world, and then obviously social conditioning creeps in, and you've got to get a job, and then you get addicted to consuming and all the rest of it, and then I fell under the banner of contentment and being established, and just lost myself completely in the 5 cents based paradigm. Thankfully I'm no longer indoctrinated into that world, and I love living rustically. It's a much healthier thing to do for me. Every day I challenge things like anxiety and mental illness by doing what I do, and because I am knowledgeable and passionate about what I'm doing, you can hide a lot of the nerves that way when you're meeting new people. Doing these uploads is very helpful as well, because I know that people are going to watch them, and that helps me also challenge these negative thoughts that come to me, which are not my thoughts anyway, to balance out all that negative shit. It's very helpful for me, and I highly recommend it to anyone. If you're stuck in the same 4 walls every day, get out. Your mental health is far more important than the car you drive, mate, or where you live, or the cafe you go to have your coffee. I mean, these are, if you can come with me for a minute, even in a hypothetical from your perspective, but from my perspective and through experience, all those little things that add up, the nice cafe, the nice car, the nice neighbourhood that you live in, the nice gym that you go to and everything, these are all little prisons, right? If you look at it like that, we create ourselves all these little prisons, and the interest slavery one is the worst one that's available right now, or that is happening right now. No longer do people need to throw a net over someone and take them to a country and make them work on their farm. They don't need to, because they have a wonderful propaganda machine, mate. They are marketing experts, and you've got your bankers and everything that predate on people's hopes and dreams about owning their own house, right? Now, these monsters are ruining our race, plain and simple. And until these entities have been dissolved and we no longer, require that nonsense, it's still going to keep going. But until then, we're not going to move forward very, very rapidly at all as a race, as a cohesive race within a peace and all the rest of it, because we're allowing ourselves to be predated upon. These predators are very good at what they do, and they're going to continue to do it because they can, and we allow it. So who's going to show our kids that you don't need to buy a house and buy into this ridiculous system that everyone's addicted to? Well, you got to do something radical, mate. I'm not talking about being radicalized. That's a ridiculous term for ridiculous people that are very, very mentally ill in a violent way. I'm just saying about radical people doing radical things, like the small house movement. It's pretty radical, isn't it? How, these houses are so small, but these people are very happy living in them, and they don't have a lot of overheads, or possibly even a mortgage. So you've got to think of it in terms of that. What's more important? You looking nice in a car, or some neighbourhood that you like to live in, or frequent a cafe there or whatever, or, travel around on your own terms, collect your own power, get fit. I mean, this rig's a gym membership as well. You don't have to have all the bells and whistles that I've got. Just get out there, do something different than what you're doing. Cancel all your debts out, square away your debts. If you can't do that, go bankrupt. Fuck them. They don't deserve any more energy from you, mate. Fuck the lot of them. You go bankrupt if you have to, and just get the fuck out. I'm sorry to swear so much, I better put a warning up, but these people are a disease. Their mentality, their bloody predation on everyone else, and us allowing it, is killing our culture, our race at alarming knots. So my next project will be to sell this when I come back from the lap and build a yacht. So I'll run with those clips now, and let me know what you think, guys. If anyone has any experience or knows anywhere where I can get a boat built like this, chime in and let me know. I'd be very appreciative of any experience or knowledge that you have in regards to this next project that I want to do. It's going to happen, guys. Whether I end up just getting a fiberglass canoe and sailing around the world, I'm going to do this, But it'd be great to have a little bit of headroom and be able to move around on a boat, as you will see in the clips I'm about to put up. Alright guys, ciao for now. Yeah guys, if you feel some magnetism to what you're seeing here, and possibly the message as well, please don't hesitate to subscribe. You won't be disadvantaged by doing so. It'll help me grow the channel and get the message out there. Even if you're just curious about what I'm doing, I mean, you may have a conversation with someone down the track and it might be just what they need to see and hear, and help free some people from this interest slavery system, and into a more holistic way of living. Liking, commenting, sharing, watching the videos, it all helps me with the tube's algorithm in getting these videos out there, and the message, most importantly the message. How you live outside of social expectations is whatever way you choose to do it. The difference is that it's on your terms, and there's no prison there. You know what I mean? There's all these psychological prisons, emotional prisons, and we've got the predation people taking advantage of our hopes and dreams, and the buying of land and houses, in my humble opinion, has got to stop. If you feel strongly like I do about it, please subscribe and help me grow the channel, and get the message out there. To my current subscribers, I thank you kindly, and to my future subscribers, you get a big thank you from me as well. Thanks so much, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting, thanks for liking, thanks for everything, and keep watching. Ciao for now.